Trials are not accidents, they are classrooms. Nothing arrives randomly in your life. Each trial carries instruction, not to break you, not to exhaust you, but to teach you how to move with discernment, how to see what could not be seen before, how to stand without losing yourself. And the lessons arrive when readiness is present, even when the comfort is not. Welcome to Truth Tellers Mike. Let the class begin. A classroom is not gentle by default. It asks for attention. It asks honesty. It asks that what no longer serves be released so something wiser can take its place. Trials do not punish, they train. They reveal where strength was already forming and where truth was waiting for your consent. You are not singled out. You are being taught what cannot be learned any other way. And I want to go into speaking of challenges and learning experiences that can be very tumultuous for us, quite a bit painstaking. And so I want to go into exactly why, as deep as I could, in plain English, why we go through trials, what it teaches, and how we are to carry it forward. Some truths only arrive through lived passage. Some strength only forms when theory falls silent. What you're walking through is instruction that cannot be outsourced. It cannot be summarized, and it cannot be skipped. It writes itself into you as experience. When it's complete, you carry it without effort. No one can take these steps for you. No explanation replaces the living of it. This lesson teaches by presence, by movement, by staying with what is unfolding until it marks you with understanding that stays. When it's finished, you won't need to explain it. You'll simply move differently. This passage that you go through in a trial, it teaches you by presence. Means the lesson is not delivered through advice, through theory, or instruction from others. It is taught by being inside the experience itself. Simply remaining present to what is happening becomes the teacher. By movement, it is meant to mean that learning occurs as you continue living, choosing, responding, and adjusting within the trial. Insight is formed through your actions and your continuation, not by reflecting, looking back alone. If you can just stay with what is unfolding, although it's painful, it hurts, it's confusing, points to endurance without escape. You will find out what you can endure. And so not rushing past it, not numbing it, or not trying to make it end before its work is done. You can't skip. The lesson completes itself only when it is fully passed through you. And until it marks you, imprints onto you, and you embody it, understanding will stay. The result will be lasting. Not something remembered intellectually, but something that is absorbed so thoroughly that it becomes part of how you operate. When it's finished, you won't need to explain it. Means the learning is self-evident. It no longer needs justification, storytelling, or validation. You will simply move differently. And I mean that by saying your decisions, your boundaries, and direction will change naturally. Not because you tried to change, but because the experience reshaped how you engage with life. In short, this is learning that alters behavior without effort. That's what I'm trying to get across to you, because it has been lived rather than studied. And this is not because you would have decided to change, not because you rehearsed a new way to be, but because what you walked through reorganized how you respond, what you allow, and where you place your steps. No explanation is required. The difference shows in what you no longer enter and what you no longer chase, and how naturally you choose what keeps you whole. The lesson completes itself in motion. When you ever wonder when will this end, as you begin, as it is unfolding and you're in it and you learn what you can handle and what you can't, what you can hold on to and what you put down, what is burnt away. And then through your experience, you no longer enter, respond, tolerate, or chase, because your goal is to keep yourself whole. And as you begin to apply the lesson in your experience, you may not even know it's a lesson, but as you begin to build your spiritual might, your understanding of what you experienced, although definitely challenging, the lesson will complete itself, but it only completes as you apply it, because that means you got it. When you know what to do and you don't do, you continue to remain in the situation. Learning happens as life keeps moving. So each choice you make, each response you offer, each adjustment you allow becomes part of the lesson itself. Understanding is shaped while you are inside the moment, not after it has passed, but inside the moment. And after it has passed, you begin to apply your understanding. And as you apply it, the lesson becomes completed. See, when you reflect on it, on the situation, you can name what happened, but action is what teaches it. You could talk all day. You can read and study all day. But if your spirit doesn't take hold of it, if your soul doesn't take hold of it, if your brain doesn't process it cognitively, it will not be able to continue forward. So we learn differently. We learn the hard way, because God needs to make sure that we get it. So we learn different. What we learn is not in a classroom. We learn through experience, not by standing still and thinking alone. Understanding is shaped while you're inside the moment, right? And I said, not after it has passed, because action is what teaches it. The lesson forms as you move, as you make decisions, and you respond in real time. After the trial, you are to apply the lesson in your life in real time. And how you apply it is through your decisions that you make. And your decisions are shaped by the trial and how it moved through you. Thought can organize what happened, but living is what inscribes it. What remains with you is not the memory of thinking about the moment, but the imprint of having met it fully while it was alive. And when I say living is what inscribes it, it is because it's not through thought alone. It's not through explanation. The mark is made by meeting life as it happens, by choosing within it, by continuing forward while it is still unfolding. What is lived becomes written into you. And what is written there no longer needs to be remembered, because it's simply carried. If one is a journalist and they retire, and they've worked in journalism, worked as a journalist for 40 years, covering different stories and in writing different magazines and papers and online journals, they still know how to write. And so some things don't need to be remembered, because it's already carried within a person, because they lived it and applied it. They were educated in it. They struggled through it in classes, right? That was their trial for some. Applying their understanding. And then when they went out into the world, in that specific profession, they were able to to respond, decide, and apply in real time. And God knows that's the best way to learn. It's as if you're learning topics and you are interning. The person is now learning through action, through what they see, through experiences in real time. And when I say what is lived becomes written into you, I mean that by saying it settles beneath your thought and it's beyond explanation. It shapes how you respond without needing reminders. You know how to do what you do. You're confident. You don't recall it as a lesson you learn, you carry it as a way you now move through the world. The experience becomes part of you, not as a traumatic event, not something you reference, but something you are. If you don't process traumatic events, they stay with you, and all you know is the traumatic event. But when you begin to process the traumatic event, although it may leave scars, you can function more fully because now the grief of the traumatic event now teaches you. So if you heal in a healthy way, if you experience any other forms of grief, you will apply because you were able to receive healing through action. So you will apply what healed you to your new form and adjust it to your new form of a different kind of traumatic event, right? Because now healing, the way in which you healed, becomes something that you are. For instance, for Alcoholics Anonymous, their counselors, for the most part, must be recovered, not recovering, recovered alcoholics. Why? Because they now have imprinted on them the healing part, the healing journey. They understand the pain. They can speak to a person attempting to start recovery or in recovery or feel as though they have setbacks without judgment. They understand that it takes patience, but they are something that the individual can look at as a reference point to say that it is possible. So it no longer sits in memory as an event to revisit. It lives in how you choose, how you respond, how you move forward without effort. And what once required thought now happens naturally because the lesson is no longer outside of you. It has taken its place within you. What you live shapes who you become, not as a memory you revisit, not as a lesson you quote, but as a way of being that no longer asks permission. The passage, I'm calling the event a passage. And so the passage did its work because you stayed with it. You moved through it and allowed it to complete itself by you taking the lesson and applying it. So the same situation doesn't repeat itself or the current situation doesn't continue to loop around you, right? Nothing more needs to be added. Nothing needs to be explained. You carry it now. And then from here on, you will move accordingly. What I need for you to take away from this is that what is lived teaches more deeply than what is explained because experience settles where thought cannot reach. The thought process is limited. Learning happens while you are inside the moment through choosing and continuing, not by waiting until it ends. When a passage completes its work, it no longer needs interpretation. It shows itself through how you move. The lesson becomes part of you, carried quietly in your decisions, your boundaries, and your direction forward. What came to teach has finished teaching. What needed to be formed has taken its place within you. There is nothing left to analyze, nothing left to prove. I want to see you walk on because life will meet you differently now because you meet it differently. And I'm going to end it here. And I am hoping for engagement in the comment section to understand that you understand and that if I need to go deeper. And I'm going to start placing sacred texts where you can find information on the teaching, so that not only do you have it and you're hearing it, you can also read it for yourself more completely, so that it can benefit you fully. Thank you for visiting my channel. May your soul continue to be blessed. Stay covered, stay conscious, and stay undefeated. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye-bye.